So this is another installment of So You Think You Can Deadlift. So we went over the deadlift, we broke it down the conventional pull, now we broke down the sumo deadlift as an accessory exercise, but same methods and rules apply. The first accessory exercise that we're going to use that's not a deadlift oriented exercise is the good morning. Back in the day we used to utilize this a lot for max effort. I've begun to realize that I think it's more of a repetition exercise. So I like to keep the reps at least above 6, but I've been experimenting a lot with doing sets of 45 seconds. So for you guys that want to try some new stuff, that's great. The first thing with the deadlift is, especially in his weak point, is I want him to try to maintain his back arch as much as possible. So it's not just something where you crawl in and you lean over. I want him to really accentuate the arc and keep his lower back arched as long as he possibly can. This will do two things. It will teach him to keep his lower tailbone muscles tight and strong. And 2, it will increase his hamstring flexibility, which will better his position off of the floor and allow him to be in a better mechanical position. So with that being said, we're going to do a good morning out of the straps. He's going to go down until his muscles bottom out. We're going to try to maintain a proper arch. Just a single. Let's do like 5. So he's going to stay in his same foot position. He's going to try to arch his back as much as possible and arch his head as much as possible. Good. Stand. Now what we're going to try to do is keep our knees as straight as we can. We're going to keep our knees as straight as we possibly can in order to make sure that we're hitting the muscles that he directly needs, which is tailbone control and hamstring flexibility. That's good. So what we're showing there is basically a good morning that's tailored to his weakness, number 1. Number 2 is if you're doing this exercise correctly, you should feel it in your hamstrings about 80% of the movement. So people get on, man, my lower back's killed. Your technique wasn't perfect. A perfect technique is going to put the pressure directly on the back part of your knees and your hamstring belly itself. This is where he needs some more flexibility, and this is where his lower back is going to get secondary work through the hamstring. So we would implement this for 3 sets of 45 seconds. We'd work up to a weight where 45 seconds was about all we could do. Because remember, with the accessory work, at least 60–70% of the time you're trying to develop functional muscle mass. So doing heavy singles with this type of stuff is not always going to be beneficial. The most beneficial thing is to get volume. So we want to set the weight where he can get, 6 reps up to around 45 seconds, which could be, 10 to 12, 15 reps, and build up that functional muscle mass.